Let's talk about how you would use note cards in Noodletools to be able to organize your research as you're going through. So what you want to make sure that you first have is you want to make sure you first have sources in your sources page. You cannot do any note cards until you have all of your sources in. So as you are picking up a new source, be it a book or be it a website or be it an article in our database, please make sure that you cite it first before you start any note cards. So let's make sure we're in the note cards tab, and really easy way in which we start is we just click new right here. What this does is it brings up a new note card for us. Basically what this does is we create a new note card for each fact, quote, or bit of information that we find in a source. So for example, maybe I'm reading this air pollution facts right here. And as I'm reading along, I see the Clean Air Act authorizes the U.S. EPA to protect public health by regulating emissions. And maybe I want to include that in my report. So I could possibly highlight all of this and copy it. And in my new note card right here, I could title this, it was about the Clean Air Act. So maybe I title this Clean Air Act. I select a source that this is connected to. So this is connected to this air pollution, everything you need to know. That's what this is right here, air pollution, everything you need to know. And then I can paste that quote into this section right here. It may bring up this little window right here, and that's okay. I just have to paste again and click OK. It's just a browser security setting thing. So now I have a direct quote from this website right here. What you can also do in this note card is you can put things in your own words. So you could paraphrase what it says in this quote right here. This can be very helpful because when you create either a Google slide presentation or you're writing your paper for this, you now have written this piece of information in your own words. And you can take your own words and copy and paste them straight into a presentation or a Google Doc. So that can be kind of helpful as you're going along I'm just going to type anything right here. As you're going along, you're kind of building your paper slowly but surely, or building your presentation slowly but surely over in this section right here. Then down in here where it says original thinking here, you would put things about how does this fit with what you know, what do you wonder, what can you follow up on. So you would write any questions or thoughts that you had down into here. So maybe I want to ask myself, how has the Clean Air Act helped with air pollution since 1970? Maybe that's a question I want to be able to figure out. So once I'm done with this, I click Save and Close, and you can see that it created a little note card for me right here. If I wanted to edit this note card, I could click Edit, and it would bring it up right here. And right here, I can click Details, and it brings me up a little bit of the details about what this is right here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to tabletop right here instead of detail. All right, so I would do that for every little new bit of fact and information that I find. So maybe I'm on here, this air quality one. Maybe I think that as early as 1881, cities such as Chicago, blah, 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 have passed laws to control some type of pollution. So maybe I think that's a good fact right there. Maybe I want to copy that and create a new, let's see here, Old Clean Air Rules. Maybe it's what I can title this. This connects to this right here. That's where I got that from. I'm going to copy and paste. Again, just doing it twice here. Going to copy and paste that quote right there. Maybe I write it out in my own words right here, and I write a question right in here and click Save, Close. And there we go. I've got another one right here, another note card. So I could keep doing this over and over and over again for all different kinds of note cards. I can even start to create an outline of my paper over on the right-hand side here if I wanted to. Another thing that's really handy that you can do is you can take all of this and then transfer it into a Google Doc. So I can export this directly to Google Docs. I can click all the things that I would like the note cards to include. I can export all of the note cards or just the note cards from a certain pile and click submit, and then it will create this in a Google Doc for me, and I'll show you what it looks like, where it takes all of my information and now puts it in one spot for me. So it tells me the source, the quote that I had, the paraphrase I did, and any ideas or questions. So this makes it a little bit easier to see everything all at once right there. The piles thing that it mentioned, what you can do is you can click manage pile right here and you can create piles of note cards. So maybe I wanted a pile of Clean Air Act and I wanted everything that related to the Clean Air Act in one pile. I now have a pile right here of everything that's on the Clean Air Act, and then I can take these individual note cards and place them in this pile. And now I know I have two note cards that are done on the Clean Air Act. I can expand it to be able to see what I have inside of there and edit anything that I have inside of there. Okay, so that can be kind of helpful as well to manage stuff if you're getting a bunch of note cards in here. So that's how you would do note cards in Noodletools to organize your research.